Okay, I need you to unlearn something really quick. You think that a brand is a font, a logo, a nice color palette on your Instagram, or even your Instagram grid, and it is not. And that one mistake is probably the reason that people scroll right past you. By the end of this video, you're gonna know exactly what separates a name from people recognize from a brand that people actually choose. And I'm gonna show you 3 brands doing it right now in 2026 so you can steal the playbook and apply it to either yourself as a content creator or the business that you are building. Let's go. But first, let me give you a quick introduction of who I am and why you should be listening to me, because you just can't listen to everybody on the internet. You gotta know their credentials. So I have spent the last 5 years working at a marketing agency. I graduated from San Diego State University with a bachelor's in integrated marketing communications. And right after graduation, I started as a marketing coordinator, which basically means I did everything in the world of marketing for a whole year until I worked myself up to a assistant project manager. And eventually now I do sit as a brand campaign strategist. That means I sit in the rooms where brand strategy is actually getting built for real clients with real budgets on the line. And in the midst of that, I decided to go back and get my MBA focused in data analytics because I wanted more than just a good eye and be able to say that something looks good, but I want to actually prove when a brand strategy is working, not just when I feel like it is. I think today a lot of creators talk about half of branding in their videos or online. Either they teach you the old school textbook stuff like positioning, brand strategy, brand promise, all of that, which is great, or they'll teach you about what's trending on TikTok and how to really use trends to grow what you're doing. What I find is special is when you actually marry the two. And because I've lived on both sides with the classic strategy and modern execution, I know what it's supposed to look like. I write it, I shoot it, I edit it, I project design it. So when I show you a framework, I'm also going to show you exactly how it gets built. Again, so you can use it for yourself as a creator or even for the small business that you're building. All right, here's where we're headed today. 3 things. 1, the real definition of a brand and why your logo is not it. A test that tells you if you're actually a brand yet or if you're just known. And then 3, we're going to look at the idea that this entire series is built on, the difference between a moment and a movement. And a quick heads up, next episode, we're getting into why people actually buy into people and not products. So stick around for that too. So let's jump right in. What a brand actually is and what it's not. So like I said earlier, everybody thinks a brand equals logos, colors, aesthetic. And look, that stuff matters, don't get me wrong, but that's not the brand. That's the, let's say, the outfit, right? A brand promise is the promise that someone believes about you before they've even talked to you. It's living in their head, rent-free, not on your homepage. So think of it like this. A logo is the signature for a brand, and a brand is the reputation that you have. So you can go out and you can forge someone's signature in 5 seconds. It won't take you any time. But you cannot fake someone's reputation because people will find you out eventually. The face always falls. One brand that I think that's really doing this really, really well is Burger King. So this year, they literally moved from their old mascot, like that. I think it was like an old, creepy, kingy kind of guy. And it was something that people would meme. And, you know, Burger King was just a gross place. You didn't go there. But this year, they rebuilt their whole campaign around one idea. And that was, there's a new king and it's you. See, they flipped the spotlight off the brand and onto the customer. And that is not a logo change. That's a promise change. And if you're not familiar, their sales have actually accelerated as they flipped their marketing strategy. They flipped their brand promise. So that's the difference between changing your outfit and changing your promise. And this is a test I want you to use after this video. So ask yourself, if a total stranger had to explain in just one sentence why they would pick you or your brand over the next, could they actually answer that? And if they can't, you may not be a brand yet, you just may be known. So let's go ahead and look at one brand that I think is doing this extremely well, that has gone from just known to chosen by the community of in the industry that they're working in. So let's look at Rare Beauty. So Selena Gomez's name alone, that will get you known automatically because she's famous, people recognize the name, she's an actress, a singer, all the things. So being known is really easy for her. But Rare Beauty became chosen because of one crystal clear promise, which is imperfection is enough. Not look flawless or achieve this ideal look that's extremely impossible. It was the opposite. It was self-acceptance over perfection, and actually backed that up with a percentage of their sales being donated to youth mental health. So that's not just a marketing line that they say, that's a receipt that they have that proves who they are and proves their promise. Now, I want you to try that on your own brand or your business right now. You can pause the video if you have to, but could you answer that in one sentence? And if you hesitated, that's your homework. After this video, I want you to sit down and kind of figure out, what is your promise? What are you promising to give each transaction, each person? That clarity is what turns known into chosen. Okay, point 3. This is a big one. This is literally what all of 2025 and 2026 has been. This is the thesis of this entire series. So I really want you to lock in on this moment, okay? If you weren't locked in, lock in here. A moment is a viral post. A great campaign that pops for a week and then it fades away. A movement is different though. A movement is when people start repeating your message in their own words. It's kind of like plagiarism, but the good kind. Without you asking them to though, that's the key. Without even being in the room. SKIMS is the cleanest example of this happening right now because they don't run some like big official community program. They just let people talk. Fit reviews, restock alerts, styling tips, all of that lives organically on TikTok, completely unprompted. The community has just taken it and they've ran with it. SKIMS doesn't do community, it lets the community do the marketing. When you can make people your own marketers, word of mouth, or user-generated content, you're winning in building community. And that's the entire difference between a moment and a movement. A moment needs you to keep pushing it, and a movement runs without you. And here's why this matters for you. Whether you're building a personal brand or a small business, the same test applies. Are people talking about you? Are they talking as you? Are they repeating your language, your point of view, your positioning in their own posts, their own captions, their own conversations? As a content creator, are you seeing people replicate you or even give you credit for the things that you've kind of created in terms of trends? Because that is the real finish line. Not going viral once, but building something that people carry forward themselves. And that's why we see brands who have really strong communities typically don't have to do a lot of PR. They don't have to do a lot of pitching to social influencers or pitching to the community to buy into what they're doing. Because they simply have a strong promise, people buy into the promise, they believe in it, and the rest is history. So to recap, because I want this to stick with you, 1, a brand is a promise, it's not a logo or an aesthetic. Being known versus chosen is the real test, and it comes down to one clear sentence, what your brand promises. And 3, movements beats moments every single time. But the good news about this is none of that requires a massive budget. It just requires clarity on what you actually stand for, and that's it. That's literally the entire game. Just be clear with your audience, and if it vibes with them, if it resonates with them, you don't have to do much work after that. If you want the rest of this framework, hit subscribe, because on the next episode, that is where we're gonna get in tactical. We're gonna break down exactly why people buy into people instead of products, and the actual data behind why trust is what drives the purchase, not the ad. Because here's the truth. You don't need to be known by everyone. You just need to be chosen by the right ones. I'll see you in the next video.